Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America. No longer California, to be specific. My name is Brian Engelman. This is Friday, January 10, 2025. I am broadcasting on the sports channels because there was some news yesterday. I'm going to touch on that real quick for a couple of reasons. Then we're going to get into the top stories, including Trump sentencing, fires in California, and a couple of other odds and ends as we unpack the morning news, everyone. So let's just go ahead and jump to this right off the bat. Why is that not sharing? Share the screen. Yes, my kingdom for a producer, I tells you. My kingdom for a producer. All right, did you watch the game last night, Notre Dame? I was watching. I was thinking of my buddy John Odermatt with Lions of Liberty. All those Nittany Lion fans. And Drew Aller, the quarterback. The quarterback from Penn State. He's from the city right next to where I grew up. He's from Edina. And so I was kind of watching for the guy. I was kind of hopeful that they were going to be able to win, represent the Big Ten. Instead, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish got a 27-24 victory. And so now Notre Dame at 14-1, number 7 ranked, they are going to be headed to the first ever college football playoff championship. They will meet the winner of tonight's game between Texas and Ohio State. Texas and Ohio State. So, tough fought game for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Their defensive end, edge rusher, he is one of the people that the Cleveland Browns are targeting with the number 2 overall pick, Abdul Carter. Drew Aller, the quarterback of Penn State, was kind of like, hey, don't sleep on this guy. Maybe we don't go quarterback at our 1.2 pick, second overall. Maybe we get this Drew Aller kid later. Maybe it's Will Howard who's playing tonight. Drew did not have a good game yesterday. He 12 of 23, 135 yards with an interception. That's just not getting it done. So there were some rumors he might consider coming out of the draft early, and it looks like he's going to come back to college football next year. Will he be back with Penn State or with another program? I don't know. We will see. So congratulations to Penn State. I do have a story or two coming up, and once I get past this, we are going to show you what ESPN, ABC, Disney like to do every chance possible. Divide, push race into every story. Always. They're addicted to it. I kind of like how the coach handled it for Notre Dame. So I believe on our Instagram feed, we're going to share that story with you in just a second. So make sure you're following the New American Media at American_media_. If you have any comments, please leave them. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, however you're watching. If you are on our X feed at American_media_, we will get your comments live in the chat room here. I can kind of try to look. In other places to try to grab your comments off of X, off of Rumble. But the easiest way is really our YouTube, the New American Media, Rumble, the New American Media. Make sure you're linked up with us. So we will get to our Instagram feed and show you how the Notre Dame coach handled some of the ABC, ESPN, Disney divisive racial questions. It's just, it is such an addiction. Sports is supposed to be the place that's a meritocracy. You've seen 1,000 great sports movies over the years. Remember the Titans. Oh, there's racial strife. Look, they come together on the ball field and they put all that stuff aside. It's supposed to just be merit-based. And it's always pushing this divisive ESPN nonsense. DEI, woke social justice stuff every single chance they get. Can we just watch a game and be excited about the game? Nope. They will make sure that they turn it into something different. So that's what happened there. I watched the game. I mean, it was a late interception that really harmed Penn State's chances. They were in it right up until the end. Just got to make better decisions. I listened to an interview this morning. It was a good interview. John Gruden with former Ohio State head coach Jim Tressel. And he said, there's 3 things I need you to do as a quarterback. Oh, geez, what was the first one? The second one was to not turn the ball over. Some of the best plays you will make will be throwing a ball out of bounds. You are the last person that touches that ball. You cannot give it to the other team. And the third thing was to make big plays. He said, you do not know when that big play is going to happen, but your job out there is to not turn it over and make big plays. Well, I forget what the first thing was, but it was a great interview with former Ohio State head coach Jim Tressel. And so you cannot be making big mistakes on the big stage like that. And so coming up tonight, this is going to be a massive matchup. The number 8 ranked in the playoff Ohio State Buckeyes at 12-2, battling the Texas Longhorns at 13-3. This is the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. This is going to be played down in Jerry World, I believe, right? AT&T Stadium. Hey, that's a home game for Texas. Let's not sleep on that. I also saw in that interview with Jim Tressel and John Gruden that Jim Tressel was recommending to Ohio State Nation, don't just sit this one out. Don't just sit this out and say, well, you know, I'm not going to go to this game. I'm going to save up and I'm going to go to the national championship game. He's like, that's not guaranteed. And he was really kind of pointing out, this is a home game for the Texas Longhorns. Get in there, buy some of those tickets and make some noise for your team. Otherwise, it's going to be 80-20. You're going to get drowned out by the Texas locals. So turn up, show out. Tonight, we'll be live streaming. Ohio State is favored by 6. I mean, you know, at this point, every team in the playoffs is a great team. Taking nothing for granted. 3 weeks ago, we lost to that team up north. And in normal years, the season would have been over. In normal years, that would have been the end of it. And luckily, that's not the case this year. I really do like the college football scenario now with the playoffs. I really do. I think when you get the top cluster of teams, let them duke it out. Let them just battle, figure it out. It's just so hard to be perfect all year. It's hard to, you have one stumble, you have one loss, you don't win your conference, and now you're just out. But you could have been the best team in the nation. So I think that the way they have it set up now, maybe it's not perfect. I think the seeding system could be improved. I think maybe just take the top 4 teams and give them the buys. You look at what happened in the college football playoff this year. The top 4 ranked teams did not win their first game. They're all eliminated. We will not have 1, 2, 3, or 4 winning this thing at all. So maybe reseed it, but I love the layout here. Point being, are we getting the Ohio State from 3 weeks ago, or are we getting the Ohio State from the last 2 weeks? Because the last 2 weeks, Ohio State has looked dominant against Tennessee, and then last week against Oregon, formerly number 1, formerly undefeated. So very excited, not taking anything for granted. I really just hope Chip Kelly gets the ball to Jeremiah Smith deep and often. I hope the referees will call obvious pass interference plays and just let the game happen. Don't get involved and don't make it about you, but you really can't let Jeremiah Smith get mugged the way that he has been without calling it. You just have to. So if that goes well, I think we got a really good shot tonight. So we'll be live streaming. If you want to join us, just find us on the same place as Rumble, the New American Media, YouTube, the New American Media, and the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. And then, of course, on X at American_media_. So agree or disagree that you think Notre Dame can win it all? I think any team in this playoff system can win it all. Would I pick Notre Dame to beat either Texas or Ohio State? I wouldn't say that, but I'm not going to talk any trash either. Not going to do that. Let's get to the news. Let me switch the tab that I'm sharing here. There we go. These are a little jumbled and out of order, but this is going to come from our live feed. I'm sorry, our feed on Instagram. Once again, The New American Media. Follow us. I got a couple of kind of update, interesting stories, and then I think we have 2 on the football. Then we'll get back to the other current events, things that are happening. So we'll discuss sports and current events here on the TNAM Morning Show, first episode of the TNAM Morning Show. Took a couple hours to get going this morning, but I kind of didn't really. I meant to have an update show for you about these wildfires, and the scheduling became I wasn't able to do what I intended to. So I'm like, let's just do a morning show. And maybe we could do this. Maybe we could do it first thing in the morning, do it really early. The point being, like, as we scroll through the news and find the interesting stuff, let's do it together. This is what we all do. So join our chat room. You can leave your comments. I'll try to get to them on the side here. Hey, there's Kenneth. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Yeah, I lived in Los Angeles for a lot of years, and I have an incalculable number of friends, coworkers, acquaintances, family, iconic locations and places that I've worked or been to events at or hung out at. And that whole area from Pacific Palisades, from Santa Monica, Pacific Palisades, up into Malibu, Calabasas. You know, they got some fires in the Hollywood area. And I think this is one of the stories that I'm going to show you here. Are these randomly occurring? Are these because of climate change, says Bernie Sanders? Or is this eco-terrorism like it has been so many times, unfortunately, in the past couple decades? You rot the brains of the youth and you convince them that the world is on fire and we're all going to die from climate change. And, oh my God, carbon dioxide, it's killing us. It's like, that's what we expel every time we breathe. That is a dangerously eugenic-centric philosophy. Oh, they're breathing. They're contributing to the death of our earth. You must end these people breathing. That's a dangerous philosophy. So do you end up with eco-terrorists? We'll talk about that. But yeah, I just, that whole area up through Malibu, it's very special to me. And it didn't need to be this way. It didn't need to happen. It didn't need to be this way. And if you have the resources, so there's a combination of things you need. You need resources, you need willpower, you need game plan and strategy. You need focus, you need clarity, you need innovation, you need a whole basket of things to run an area. And I can speak to that to some degree because I did run an area. I was in Los Angeles and I ran my neighborhood. I was with a group of people that ran the neighborhood. And the number one job is to keep people safe. And when there was a physical attack on a young lady in the carport next door, really close to where we were, oh, that changed my world. I realized that if we don't go after the criminal element, the violent, junky, criminal, out of their mind, violent element, they are going to turn their sights on us and come after us. And so it set about this whole strategic plan of gates and locks and secondary locks and timed locks. They're breaking into laundry rooms, stealing quarters from the machines, breaking the machines, stealing, vandalizing, stealing electricity. Right? There was a laundry list of problems. I'm starting with one little localized, but it was adding lights. It was adding gates and locks and security and cameras and trying to identify and go after where the 5 or 6 people who caused 95% of the problems, find those people. Because we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, great people, being terrorized by these idiots. So, yeah, Renee, that's maybe called a moral compass. It's not like I felt like taking my time and energy and spending it in those places. I had to. Nobody else was. I don't know how it's easy for anyone to just kind of turn a blind eye and go, not my problem. I don't know. I don't get that. So in California with the wildfires, you've known for decades that this is a problem. You've known that you're right there on the Pacific Ocean. Figure out a way to pump water up quickly. I don't care what infrastructure you need to do. You need to create, you need to build, you need to innovate. Figure it out. And diverting rainwater coming down, President Trump was out there years ago saying, you can't do this. They said the environmental refrain for the past, I don't know, several decades. It's all about these little birds, these little fish, these ancient fish, these delta smelt, whatever it may be. If you're trying to rebuild a dwindling population, you can take those things and put them in zoos. You can try them in other environments. You can find a way to keep. Your number one job is to keep reservoirs filled and make sure that fire hydrants can spray water when you're in the middle of a tinderbox and you're not grabbing and raking all of the deadfall like you're supposed to be doing. I've lived with woods in my backyard for a lot of years of my life. And that was always one of the number one things we did. We would gather and break down the wood that falls. I do the same exact thing where I am now. Bushes and shrubs and trees. You try your best to keep things trimmed. You do what you can. Sometimes you got to pay a company to come in and take a thing or two down. Sometimes you work with the city utility department. Sometimes you share the burden with neighbors, but you don't just let deadfall drop and accumulate. You don't let branches grow into the power lines. I mean, it's just common sense. Kind of saying he heard it was started from a dropped joint. What do you mean, Kenneth? Am I perhaps a star seed? How do you mean a star seed? Like a star child? Something smelt fishy in California's government. No Kamala jokes. No Kamala jokes. All right. Let's go to our Instagram feed here. The New American Media. We're having trouble playing this video. Why? Something went wrong. Oh, come on. All right. Are we going to try this a second time? Is there volume? Yes, there appears to be volume. All right. Here's a story. This says evidence continues to emerge suggesting that intentional acts have been committed to start fires within California. Let's... Oh. I got to relink this? How weird. Glad I clicked over. There we are. Okay. Here is evidence continuing to emerge suggesting that intentional acts start. Okay, so number one, let me hold on.
Lit the match or lit something. It's in the dam, the south side of the dam. There's a fire going now.
Holy shit.
Can you hear me still? You guys okay, he's walking west.
On the dam.
On the dam. On the south side of the dam.
Towards Burbank.
You guys watching this? I don't know entirely what we're... Okay. it shouldn't need to be said. Anytime we watch a video, it's okay to say, I don't know where this is at. Is this actually in California? And is this from the past couple of days? I don't know. I don't need to pre-qualify everything as being 100% fully confirmed. What I'm going to do is look at the things that are going around and let's ask the question. So what question would we ask about this video? Number one, who are these people? What are they doing? Where is this video taken? When was it taken? So let's just, for the sake of argument, I'm not purporting it to be true, but let's say this is taken in the past couple of days in California at a dam. Question is, who are those people that are doing that? Are they doing controlled burns so that things don't go worse later? Are they trying to burn everything that is there? Like, is that an intentional act done to preserve? Or are these eco-terrorists are among the 30 million people that Barack Hussein Obama and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the New World Order and George Soros snuck into our country over the past 4 years to strategically place themselves at specific locations to kind of start, maybe launch a series of attacks, say in 2025, say one in New Orleans, say one in Las Vegas, say one in Hollywood, say one here, one there, one everywhere. Who knows? But these are the questions we're trying to figure out. Is this what's happening? So let's go back to the video and see what else they got on this. And by the way, imagine how terrifying this must be if you were the person who was recording this. If these people are monsters and they see that you see them and that you've recorded them, you have now put yourself into a difficult situation. But they do say that the only thing that it takes for evil to succeed in excuse me, let me start over. They do say that the only thing that it takes for evil to succeed in this world is for the good men and women to stand by and do nothing. So, do you want to stand by and do nothing? Or do you want to see this and say something? Record this, report this, and try to help. Try to be a net positive to your community instead of a deadbeat, instead of a monster, instead of a dirtbag, instead of a criminal. I don't know. So let's finish this video up here.
You can hear me? All right, I'm tracking him. He's walking west. He's moving very slowly. He just lit. The fire is small in concrete area, but he definitely 100% lit it. He's now walking north. He's now walking north to the top of the dam.
Towards Burbank.
Towards Burbank Boulevard. He is still walking up the hill. The fire is starting to smolder out. He's turning around and looking at it.
There have been documented cases of eco-terrorism across California for many years. And then they will try to use something like this. Who are they? Whoever they are. And say, oh, it's global warming. Can you believe this? Global warming. Bernie Sanders out there. Because you're able to then steal billions of dollars and reroute them to global warming initiatives. Instead of filling the reservoirs, instead of filtering and pumping water up to strategic locations that could be used. If your fire hydrant's broken, maybe you have a secondary feed somewhere. Maybe every house has a back buried cistern. Maybe there's temporary cisterns that will help houses or give you some sort of sprinkler system that could hit your roof. And in case that one of these things are happening, you hit the button and it blankets your house in a protective layer of moisture. Where are the innovators? Where are the thinkers? But no. People like Bernie Sanders want to say it's global warming. And then what do? Then they try to do things to ban energy production in the United States so that we're more dependent on foreign countries who use more polluting efforts to get that energy to sell it back to us at a higher price instead of us just handling it. This is such an elaborate money laundering scam. I can't even put it into words. But it does feel like the tide has turned. It does feel like we're understanding the difference between common sense and lunacy. But yeah, global warming, DEI. How about infrastructure so your fire hydrants actually have water instead of just sputtering out dust? Well, I don't know the current number. Over 1,000 homes have burned.
Top of the hill.
He's almost to top of Burbank.
Hello, someone just set a fire in Sepulveda Basin. We're watching them walk away now. It was inside the dam, the south side of the dam. The person that started to light it.
Male.
Yeah, they look to be all black clothing.
All black.
Male, all black, maybe towards the
backpack
at the top of the dam.
Wearing a backpack.
Is that Antifa? They don't appear to be having the gait, the march of a federal worker or a military person. But then again, there's enough military from every nation in this world, sleeper cells sitting, waiting to launch, because that's what the Obama doctrine has been. Sell your country out, sell your sovereignty out, take us down a few pegs. We've been living a little too good for too long. And let's redistribute like a pirate some of this wealth to all these third world nations, then import the third world nations to this country.
Basin on the dam,
I mean, these could be Chinese troops for all we know. The reports of Chinese troops coming up Eagle Pass and right up through Texas, well documented. The gangs over in Aurora, Colorado.
Dam, the concrete dam that's right near the hospital.
Wearing a baseball hat.
Wearing a baseball hat. He's now at a gate that closes. He's on the east side of the dam. The top of the dam where
on Burbank before.
Yes, well, it's very small. I think it's a smolder out, but he's actively trying to set them. So
it's still a blaze. It's still
lit. No, it's still lit.
He's walking.
He's walking on top. Now he's walking
towards the freeway.
Towards the freeway. On the east side. I don't know. They're not running very fast. They're walking very slow. But 100% purposely leant over with.
Yeah, they're methodically. Looks like methodically, maybe a little bit more military than I would give it credit for.
Something that lit something afire. They lit it on the southeast side of the dam on the concrete area. They're walking around very slowly. We've got a camera on.
He's an arsonist.
And once again, is he an arsonist? Maybe. There are crews of people that one of the ways to prevent and build a fire line is you have to burn the brush in advance. You draw the line in the sand. So it's like, all right, we're not going to cross over here. Let's burn this spot, clear it out from fuel. So when it comes in here looking for fuel, it's gonna stop. It's gonna sputter at this line.
No, don't come. Yeah, right now we're okay. But yeah, the police should get here.
He's an arsonist.
Guys. Okay.
Thought I saw Anyway, those reports are coming in. Keep your eyes peeled. I don't know how long that video, a 3-minute video. Let's go to this one. David Harris Jr. reporting, there are now reports of foreign gangs intentionally starting fires to force evacuation so they can rob homes. And there's David Harris Jr. saying that this guy was just caught by homeowners. Unbelievable. Kenneth calling him Burn E Sand Turd. All right, Sand Turd is kind of funny. Yeah, make a cat turd joke from the X account. Burn E Sanders. Evidence burned, lessons not learned. And Kenneth is suggesting that perhaps like a note on a cork board, we are under attack. Oh, here's a tack for you. Let me show you this. If you guys want to get one of these, here's a tack. It just reminded me. Wasn't even thinking about it. I did lead with sports, though, today. the Unhappy Hour Sports Show pins. Only 100 of these will ever be made. They're $25. These are wooden coasters for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show that we do. Ohio made sets of 4, $30, includes delivery. One is shaped like the great state of Ohio, and the other is shaped like a circle. So if you'd like some of these, they're $30 a set, or $50 for the pair, or $75 for all 3, shipping included. Just shoot me a Venmo at Brian Engelman, BrianEngelman. If you want one of these, tell me if you want Ohio shape or circle shape. And if you want all 3, just do all 3. Give me your address, and I will mail these out to you. Yeah, we are under a tack. That pin has a tack on the back. You kind of push it into the back and do that. Yeah, Kenneth has one. Kenneth, a supporter of the show. Appreciate you, buddy. Kenneth does have one. Have you been using them, or are they a display piece? And if you do set drinks on them, what drinks get set upon them? I got my Moon coffee. It's just a phase cup right here. Would I set this on the Unhappy Hour coaster? We always appreciate anything, Kenneth. Appreciate you always and forever, and everybody else out there. You know, we are trying to grow, and the more support we get, the more we can grow. We love unpacking the news with you. So thank you to everyone. But yeah, let's get back to David Harris really quick. What is this arrest? Let's take a look.
Attention, friends. It is now being reported that illegal alien gangs are in America. Well, we knew that, thanks, Joe. But they're intentionally setting fires in Southern California. They're intentionally doing this in order to get us to evacuate. See that yellow tank on top of the hood? That is a torch. The neighbors saw this guy trying to torch something next to their house. They apprehended him. They kept him there until the police showed up, and the police just arrested this arson. He's already a suspect in some of the other fires that have started. So pay attention. Watch your surroundings.
All right. So not entirely certain. Why is this happening? I got to share this tab instead. All right. Sorry, Facebook. I still don't understand. Restream will let me stream directly to all of these accounts. But Facebook has been weird because Mark Zuckerberg has hated us. Now he's pretending he's all pro free speech. I don't buy it for a second, but trying to broadcast, because we got such a great community in the Agree to Disagree show group. Trying to restream it, but it looks like we do have the correct feed. Actually, we don't have the right feed showing. Hold on a second. What I want to share is the restream link to Facebook. Sharing this tab to restream. Here we go. Share this tab to Facebook. Are we back now? All right, that's what the show's supposed to look like. Facebook makes everything unnecessarily complicated, doesn't it? All right, so David Harris Jr. reporting that is happening. Foreign gangs intentionally starting fires to force evacuations so they can rob homes. Keep your eyes peeled.
This is not, and they go.
Let's listen to Bannon's take on the fires and how the brain virus, the mind virus of progressivism, of divisive racial tricks and tactics of Barack Hussein Obama, the Obama doctrine, progressive companies, DEI, backward priorities have led to so many problems in America and on the global stage.
Well, climate change this, climate change that. No, this is human. Yes, of course the winds blew hard, but the winds always blow hard. And yes, a brush fire started, but brush fires start, particularly where people build these houses. That's just a normal course of events.
Yeah.
The tragedy is that you can see hours of footage and there's nobody there. There's no firemen there. I'm not blaming the firemen. These guys are brave and go in harm's way. But where's the organization?
Yeah. And I've seen this a couple times, and people like complaining about the firefighters and the firefighting effort, and then they quickly say, well, I'm not blaming the fire. No. What is that song? No. It's like one of those electric dance music rave songs from like the late 90s. Question of the day. What is that song that I'm trying to think of? No. So no. The people who are trying to serve the communities are heroes. The politicians that don't have a proper game plan and infrastructure in place, the ones who don't have a system in place, an innovation in place, they're doomed. Speaking of doomed, we got this report coming in right now, breaking news, and I'll tell you about it since we are broadcasting to the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Sources are telling Ian Rappaport that Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has ruptured his Achilles again. Further testing showed, and he had another surgery on Thursday to repair it. Less than 3 months after the original tear, it happened again, and Watson now faces a longer road back, and now he could miss all of 2025. If that's, wow. Have you ever heard a more Brownsy story than that one? Oh, my Lord. You talk about karma, the way the Browns treated Baker Mayfield. Huh. That's brutal. Anyway, yeah, we're not blaming the firefighters. We're blaming that there aren't more firefighters. We're blaming that white firefighters, white male firefighters, were weeded out of the system, that they were forced to take experimental jabs or lose their jobs. That's what the progressive Democrat Biden, Obama, Harris regime was pushing down your throat and into your skin, literally. Adam Carolla eloquently talks about how it took him 7 years to even go in for a test. But if you're not a white male, oh, you'll get expedited. You'll be right there. You'll be right there. How about put everyone right there and take the best people? If I'm running a company, I don't want the best engineer that I can get who went to a Big Ten school. Well, did they go to Indiana? Are they an Ohio State Buckeye? Do they have a degree from Penn State? I don't care if they're from one particular demographic. I don't care who they're sleeping with. I don't care the pigment in their skin. I care about, are they the most qualified person to crush the job? And California is reaping what they've sown with all of their backward, divisive Obama doctrine era bullshit tactics.
Where was the water? You saw the woman up there. She's sitting there going, we have 3 million tanks, but we ran out.
You're on the ocean. You should never once run out. You put a tube into the water. You have a mechanism, some sort of spinning thing that will catch any fish, any debris. It spins and it rotates and it sucks in clean water it sucks in ocean water free of debris that can be quickly pumped up the hill over to the places to refill any areas that are struggling. If your dam drops below a certain thing, it sets off a sensor and it runs the water in. You need desalination plants, then build them. You do not redirect water coming in from Canada. Free water, free river. Don't let it go into the ocean. Divert it. Build a massive reservoir. Build a massive treatment plant. Save your water. Why are we have you seen the movie Chinatown? Chinatown is about the water rights and starving farmers and the growing city and the problems with water. This is going back to Jack Nicholson in the 70s? You're talking 50 years of knowing about this. And it's not like they didn't know about water and fires before that. These people are prioritizing the most backward, wasteful things instead of the most basic components. When I was on my board of directors, it was safety. The safety of the roofs, the safety of our water system, the safety of the criminal element. Safety. California has not cared about you. And they made it so difficult, they told the insurance companies, I believe this is true, correct me if I'm wrong, they told the insurance companies you can't raise your rates in California, thinking, oh, well, I guess they're just going to have to take a loss every year. And they go, okay, I wish you wouldn't because you're a large market for us. Some people say the state of California is a seventh world's seventh largest economy. Just the state of California. Pick whichever metric. Is it top 20? Yeah, it's probably top 20. They just left a couple months ago. All these reports coming through that insurance companies left. They were forced out, is my understanding. I'm willing to amend that position if that's slightly incorrect or completely incorrect, because of these invasive policies. So, California, I love you. Always have. And I will always be an Angelino, a partial Angelino. But my God, you have to throw these bums out. And I'll tell you what, day one, you got to get the SAVE Act enacted. You have to get standardized voting systems, because I bet you New York and California are not blue. I bet you they don't vote Democrat like they tend to. I think they create enough ballots to constantly keep their people in positions of power so that they can rob from the people while not building the necessary infrastructure to keep them safe from the most well-known problems, drought and fire. If you fix the voting system in the states, I bet you California sees the right through this stuff. This Democrat Party must be completely dismantled. To vote for a Democrat must carry the greatest shame, the Hester Prynne scarlet letter, to wear it on your forehead or upon your breast. The Democrat brand is backwards, divisive destruction. Backward, divisive destruction. That's who you vote for. Yeah, but abortion. You can peel away from the Democrats and try to work with the other side and say, I understand your personal take on abortion is that pro-life is the way to go. But you got to work with people like me in this country who will never accept that. Find a way to push the policies and the education that will lead to fewer unwanted pregnancies. But leave us the option. And that's what is the case right now. It's on a state-to-state level. Other than the abortion angle, can you please tell me one reason why anyone could possibly vote Democrat in 2025? I don't see where they're ahead, where they're innovative, where they're smart, where they're careful without wasting your resources. Productive. I don't see any of it. So my hope is that California gets their act together. Anyway.
Well, hey, lady, yo, you can't run out. Your job is to make sure you don't run out. She's just matter of fact. If we can get that clip, I want to play that later. She's just sitting there.
We ran out of water.
You know, we have 3 million tanks and the gravity, up the hill. Yes, that's where they come down. We have 3 million gallons. We have 1 million cans. But this ran, and this is what gets you about the coverage on the media. They're sitting there.
By the way, I think DeSantis said, if this was a Republican governor that allowed this to happen in his state, you would never hear the end of it.
At CNN, precisely. When did it run out? That's not the point.
When you're on the Pacific Ocean, I've been saying this for 30 years. What do you mean wildfire? Oh, they don't have water to fight the fire. You're on the ocean. You are right at. You put a drinking straw into the ocean. You filter out the fishes and the boots and the license plates. They could get sucked up into the turbine. And if there's some way you could build a thing that filters and it doesn't mess with the delta smelt. You cannot run out of water if you're in California. And if there's an emergency scenario where you pump in raw seawater, you do it. You hit the button. You hit the, oh shit, everything's on fire. And you take it up and it goes out. This one goes north. This one goes east. This one goes south. Then from there, there's different substations. You pump it here and it goes there. You got redundant backfill tech. You could do this manually, but in 2025, this should all be automated. A reservoir drops below 80% full. Bam, send it. Well, we don't want to contaminate that water with the drinking water. Then you send it to a secondary cistern at that facility. I'm not even a fucking engineer and I understand this stuff. I guess I am an engineer. It runs in my family. My grandfather worked at NASA. My father was an engineer. He worked in fire prevention. Okay, so maybe I'm not the normal person. I've never worked in fire prevention like my dad used to. I did a project or two, make a diorama, and here's how you do this. And at this level, this is when if the heat reaches this level, the wax on this thing melts and it drops this thing in and it activates the, it's like, so I understand basic sprinkler systems, but I'm not an expert and I'm not an engineer. But when you're on the water, the biggest water supply on this sphere that's 70% water, you put a drinking straw into it. You have a drinking straw in San Francisco. You have a drinking straw in the Palisades. You have a drinking straw in San Diego. If you save the smelt, you get what you're dealt. He who smelt it, dealt it. Yeah, another one was like Delta smelt, and then there's a couple of other fish. I really am. I'm trying to convince some of my buddies to get the hell out of that state. It's so backward, people. At some point, you have to look at the lay of the land and go, I can't fix all this. And it's almost like out of the 100 most important issues, they're almost going out of their way to be bluntly cartoonish to make sure they give you the wrong answer on at least 90 of the top 100 issues. We will be not only wrong, we will be cartoonishly wrong and divisive and destructive in the meantime.
The point is to ask the question, how did it run out, lady? Tell me what the plan is. There's a way. These systems. This is the collapse of complex systems. Is Darren Beatty? We got Beatty, I think, a little later, but I'm going to get him on this. Remember Beatty had this whole series 6 months ago, 8 months ago, that you could tell that the political correctness, DEI, and all of it, not just that, but all the way they run things, this mediocrity, is the collapse of complex systems. We were on the time on the air system, so many close calls. This is that you're seeing the manifestation of Darren Beatty's theory of the case of the collapse of complex systems, because you don't have people that can run complex systems, put in charge. Have you seen any leadership? We've watched every one of these press conferences, so you didn't have to.
Karen Bass.
It is stunning. Not just the incompetence, the arrogance of the incompetence.
Yes.
The mayor don't want to answer questions. She said, even the people around them, they're so not just of the moment, so basically incompetent to actually perform the duties they should perform on a regular basis in normal course of business. And then if anybody even tries to ask a question, it's this kind of unctuous, they just give it to you thing. And CNN is, MSNBC, CNN in this regard is actually the worst. Well, the 3 times, it ran Pacifically here, it shouldn't have run out. What do you mean it ran at this time?
You're on the drinking water, drink it.
And over these couple hours, why didn't you get more water up there? Did you plan for this?
There's got to be a manual. You break glass in case of emergency. It doesn't matter if they plan for it. There should be a plan from the last group, and you're always trying to improve the plan. Where's the plan? What plan was
this? Is not, and they go, climate change this, climate change that. No, this is human. Yes, of course the winds blew hard, but the winds always blow hard. And yes, a brush fire started, but brush fires start, particularly where people build these houses. That's just the normal course of events.
It is the normal course of events. Let me ask, Mike, are you scheduled to go live, good sir? I see you in the studio. Gotcha. Okay. Let me wrap. Like I said, the morning show, I want to be. Hey, there you are.
I didn't know you were doing a show. I set this up
No
with
worries.
An interview with Mel Carmine. I got him for about an hour. Can I go do that? I'm sorry.
No worries at all. Yeah.
I didn't know you were going. Did you usually go on it Friday mornings?
No.
This is okay.
Do you normally do Fridays? Because I was like, I thought
never. I had to reschedule it from yesterday. So
no worries. You have the interview set up. I'm aware of that. Let me wrap this up and give you the studio. We share a studio, everybody.
I apologize. Yeah.
No need to apologize, and it's all good. I will wrap for it.
All
To be continued. There's Mike Barra, TV's Mike Barra. We do a show with him, Strictly Football, Thursdays at 5 p.m. But we do share this studio, and this was a new thing. I tried to get this show going maybe an hour or two earlier. But yeah, Mike doesn't normally do stuff on Friday, so I didn't figure I needed to kind of check the schedule. But no worries. Go to our Instagram feed. We got 100 great stories there. Go on X at American_media_. We have all the great stories there. And this is what I want to do in the morning shows and the night shows. I just want to go through our feed and kind of show you what we have located throughout the day and share it with you. A lot of the news research is redundant. And so I want to kind of do this at the same time with you. While we find the great stuff, we'll give you all the highlights. And that's really what we do Tuesdays, Thursdays with the Agree to Disagree show at 3 p.m. Eastern, usually with TV's Blake Wally. So check out Strictly Football. Check out our live stream tonight for the Ohio State Buckeyes against Texas playoff game for a chance to go to the finals for the championship for the right to play Notre Dame. And that's all I got for you now, so Mike can get to his interview. All right. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, everybody. Deep Stew Studio. Stew Studio. There we go. Deep State Studio. All right. I'm going to wrap. Check out our feeds, the New American Media. We're going to try to get you a TNAM night show and a TNAM morning show coming up soon, in addition to Tuesday, Thursday, and the sports content as it pops up. Thank you. Appreciate